Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking the visionary infrastructure behind Allynix and really digging into how it transforms the whole abstract idea of AI into a measurable, concrete workforce. Now, if you've been following the space, you know everyone is talking about agents and co-pilots. But Allynix, well, they're building something fundamentally different. They aren't just trying to make humans a little bit faster. They're actually building a comprehensive system to capture human expertise, perfectly structure it, and then govern it to the point where AI can actually take over the seat entirely. So let's get right into it.
Okay, let's start with this incredibly provocative core promise from Allynix. Deploy AI Workforce, retire human dependency. It's a massive, bold shift away from simply assisting humans toward replacing our dependency on them entirely. The long-term promise here is quite literally about building your AI successor. Allynix fundamentally believes that for artificial labor to work, it has to be identifiable, it has to be governable, measurable, and most importantly, economically accountable. So we're not just talking about an AI chatbot drafting an email for you, it's about building a system that can run an entire department with minimal human intervention.
Section 1. The AI Workforce Promise and Cloning Human Expertise. To really grasp how this works in the real world, let's step away from the abstract architecture for a second and look at a practical, everyday example. We're going to clone the expertise of a single employee. Let's call her Sarah from customer support. Now, Sarah is absolutely fantastic at her job, but she's a bottleneck, right? Simply because she can only work so many hours in a single day. So how do we turn her highly specific, nuanced knowledge into a completely scalable AI workforce? Well, everything complicated stays firmly underneath the hood because the Allynix user experience is distilled down to just 4 frictionless actions: clone, library, compose, and succession. Underneath all that, there's a massive amount of complexity. We're talking agent passports, skill ROI calculations, universal work connectors mapping to Shopify or Stripe. But the genius here is that the user never actually sees any of that. They borrow what they call the Zezos principle. You choose an app, install it, and you retire the old system. The user merely walks through these 4 beautifully simple steps.
Now here's what's really fascinating. The onboarding completely bypasses clunky enterprise software. You don't have to force Sarah into some complicated, massive admin dashboard. Instead, she literally just uses WhatsApp to teach the AI how she works, using her own words. The Allynix Workforce Advisor just texts Sarah and says, "Hey, send us an example of how you handle a refund." And Sarah? She can just forward example tickets, upload a PDF of her standard operating procedures, or honestly, just leave a quick 30-second voice note explaining her decision-making process. She can even jump in and correct the AI if it makes a wrong assumption. It's exactly as easy as texting a coworker.
While Sarah is just texting away on her phone, Allynix is working furiously in the background. It listens to her inputs and automatically generates what they call a skill twin. This is basically a testable, reusable representation of how a person performs a specific capability. It captures exactly how she makes complex decisions, like, say, processing a tricky customer refund. Now, it's important to note, a skill twin is not the final AI worker. Think of it more as the training asset. It's a testable capability that perfectly captures her rules, her exceptions, her inputs, and her quality standards. Once Allynix creates it, boom. It goes straight into the company's internal skill library, ready to be deployed.
Section 2. Composing your AI team.
With Sarah's skills now locked into the company library, management steps in. And guess what? The manager doesn't need to know how to code, and they certainly don't need to build complex agent graphs. The system simply asks the manager one straightforward question: what do you actually want your workforce to achieve? So the manager might reply with a business outcome, something like, I want to handle 80% of customer support without adding any new headcount. The Intelligent Workforce Composer takes that and proposes a fully structured team. In this specific case, it suggests 4 AI workers: a triage worker, a resolution worker, a knowledge worker, and a QA worker, all capable of handling the vast majority of the workload. We're talking 78% AI coverage, leaving just 22% for human supervision. And it even gives you an estimated monthly cost, let's say $740, which is obviously a fraction of the massive cost of hiring human equivalents.
All right, moving on to Section 3, the path to succession.
Okay, so you have the AI team built, but you don't just flip a switch and let artificial intelligence run your entire customer service department on day one. No way. Before an AI worker inherits any real responsibility, it absolutely must prove its competence to the company. It achieves this trust through what they call shadow mode. Now, during shadow mode, the AI independently performs the exact same tasks as Sarah, which allows Allynix to relentlessly compare the AI's speed, its policy compliance, and its overall accuracy directly against the human benchmark. Sarah just does her job normally, making the real-world decisions. The AI, meanwhile, processes the exact same data and makes its own decision, but, and this is crucial, it cannot externally act on it. Allynix logs both. Did the AI authorize the same exact refund Sarah did? Did it follow the identical policy? Shadow mode creates totally undeniable, data-driven evidence for succession.
Then, as the AI racks up evidence of success, it steadily advances through these succession stages. It starts out at stage 0, just learning the ropes. Then it bumps up to assist, where it helps Sarah, but she's still fully the operator. Once it proves itself there, it moves to delegate, where the AI executes but Sarah has to approve any major actions. By month 1, it might reach stage 4, AI-led, where the AI actually owns routine work and Sarah's just managing exceptions. Ultimately, the big goal is stage 6, human optional. That is where routine operations no longer depend on Sarah at all.
27. That is the exact number of hours per week of human time returned to Sarah. This right here is a primary metric for Allynix. It completely shifts Sarah from a burdened, stressed operational worker to a highly leveraged supervisor. Instead of spending 38 exhausting hours a week manually processing tickets, she spends maybe 11 hours reviewing AI outputs and handling the complex, high-value escalations. This metric directly measures freedom for both the employee and the manager.
Section 4. Measuring AI economic value. As we zoom out from Sarah's individual day-to-day experience to the entire organization, the roadmap transitions from simply managing tasks to tracking hard, verified economic value. And, this is where Allynix becomes the true system of record for AI work. Because honestly, having an AI just do a task isn't enough. You have to know if it's actually making or saving the company cold hard cash. Allynix ensures AI isn't just busy, but actually profitable, by forcing these AI workers to operate within highly governed outcome contracts. Before an AI worker is allowed to do anything at all, say run a new marketing campaign, an outcome contract is set in stone. It defines exactly what the objective is, the absolute budget limit, the time window, and the required KPI, like contribution profit. It even includes a hard stop condition. For example, if the return on ad spend drops below a certain number, the AI is automatically halted. It's literally total financial governance.
So the platform calculates this definitive, verified agent ROI through what is essentially a literal AI profit and loss statement, making artificial labor fully economically accountable. You can see the monthly cost of the AI sales department, which actually factors in the compute costs, tool costs, and the human supervision time required. Then you have the verified revenue it created. Allynix subtracts the costs to show you a pure, verified net value, resulting in a strict ROI multiplier of 3.76x. Allynix flat-out refuses to let AI claim value it didn't strictly generate. It calculates verified incremental value plain and simple.
Finally, Section 5, the autonomous company future. This intense level of financial and operational accountability really paves the way for Allynix's ultimate vision, evaluating the entire organization's ability to run autonomously. Now, they aren't trying to build some magical autonomous mode switch that you just blindly flip on. Instead, they are building a way to track readiness across every single business unit. By tracking the reduction in human dependency across all departments, leadership can identify exactly where AI can safely take the reins and where humans are still totally bottlenecking the process. For instance, customer service might be crushing it at 94% readiness, heavily governed and successfully automated. Marketing is super close at 88%, but operations, well, they might be lagging behind at 64%. This kind of dashboard shows the C-suite exactly what percentage of work is AI executable, where risk events keep popping up, and where human intervention is still frequently required. Which leads us to this truly mind-bending metric, 1 to 1,000. This staggering ratio, one human governing 1,000 AI workers, is the true North Star architecture that Allynix is ultimately building toward. In Phase 22 of their roadmap, this is the destination. An environment where a single human executive or manager sits atop a massive, infinitely scalable, perfectly governed workforce of 1,000 AI agents. That human is securely managing budgets, approving the really critical escalations, and directing high-level strategy, while the Allynix system quietly and efficiently handles the vast operational execution underneath.
So as you think back on Sarah's journey, going from just sending a few casual WhatsApp voice notes to entirely transforming and automating her whole department, you really have to look inward and ask yourself, what actually prevents your company from operating with just one human today?
What outdated dependencies, supermanual workflows, or completely ungoverned processes are holding your own operations back right now? Allynix provides the roadmap to find out and the hard infrastructure to actually do something about it. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this sparks some serious curiosity about the fascinating future of how we work.